Good morning. Alright, it is Saturday morning. It's kind of early. In fact, I haven't even eaten yet, which is a huge no-no. I wouldn't advise that type of behavior to anybody. As you can tell, I am wearing a decent shirt today because someone somewhere along the way commented that they didn't appreciate my outfit. Yeah, they said that I dress like I'm in my outfit, looks like I'm in middle school. And that really hurt my feelings. I put a lot of thought into what I wear. I spare no expense, clearly. But first off, I never went to this middle school. That was before my time. I mean, that was after my time. My time, it was junior high school. It was 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, in case it's really important to you. That way you can correct your critique next time. I look like I'm in junior high school, because if I look like I was in middle school, I may not get the full gist of your insult, because I've never been in a middle school. Besides that, I just want to make a little video here, try and keep it quick so that I'm not boring you to tears about, because a lot of questions have come up, a lot of comments, a lot of messages and stuff, emails, a lot of older guys. One interesting question was a guy just asked me, and I responded to it, but I'm gonna throw it up here too, is why is it that many bodybuilders seem to shrink as they get older? And everything's relative, shrink is relative, and getting older is relative. How old? You're talking about like really older guys or guys that are my age or a little younger. But I think that the most visible bodybuilders that we see are going to be the pros. So I think in a lot of cases, and normally I'm speaking from first-hand experience, so this is one time when I'm not, and whenever I'm not, I'll tell you that. But I think it's pretty easy for me to imagine, having had all the injuries I've had, having had to modify my training so that I could still get to where I'm trying to get to through different means and different avenues physically, rather than, just the all-out heavy weight I used to push and the way I used to train due to the injuries. But I think that a lot of guys, a lot of times, since the most visible guys bodybuilder-wise are going to be pros, I'm guessing that this question comes from mostly the observation that pros retire. When they retire, a lot of people think that they get a lot smaller. Jay Cutler, I think he still looks outstanding. He still carries a lot of muscle. If you see him, if you stand next to him, he's still big. He's still a big dude. So clearly he loves working out. It's still in his blood. It's a passion. But I think a lot of times with the pros, it could very well be that the whole thing has become a job. The whole thing's become employment, a job to them, which once probably began as a love and passion just for the iron, evolved and became and just happened to grow into a means of income, source of income, and then it became a whole different ball game, right? Then there's a lot of things you have to do. See, initially you do something for the love of it, it's a hobby, it's a passion, but then when you get there, once you're there, now you've got obligations and contracts and a vested interest in your appearance, and it's a lot of stress, because if you can't stay injury-free and you get hurt, you could lose a contract, be sidelined, all kind of things. Cancel appearances, guest posings, all this other crap. So I think it becomes tedious, and it becomes a job, no matter what anybody says. So when they finally get to the point, why do most guys stop? Either they fall out of favor, the time has passed them by, and they can't compete with the new crop of guys, or it's just run its course, more or less. So I think by that point, they're burned out on it. And when they take the break, they want the whole break. They don't want to have to eat like a bodybuilder. And I've done this myself. I took 3 years off one time, not that long ago. They don't want to eat like that, don't want to treat it like it's a job anymore, so it's refreshing just to be kind of a regular person. So I think that that's part of why a lot of guys, shrink, because they just stop all of it. They stop the training, they stop eating well, the whole thing changes. Now, this isn't true for everybody. Look at guys like Lee Labrada and, like I said, Jay Cutler. And there are just lots and lots more. Robbie Robinson, how old is this cat? And he still looks great. For his age, he looks great. You got guys like Andreas Collig. He looks frigging incredible. So, I mean, there are a lot of guys out there. There are guys out there that still love it and keep lifting. But I think it becomes like a job. And then another factor is, like myself, I've lost probably as much as 3/4 of an inch in height over the decades just from the heavy squatting at one time. Maybe even the heavy deadlifting may have contributed a little bit to that, but I've lost like 3/4 of an inch. Right now I'm like 5'11" and I don't know, maybe a half or something, but I'm under 6 foot. Anyway, I don't think it's that drastic or that terrible. Another factor could also be that maybe when guys, and I don't know this for a fact, but maybe when the guys get away from the gear and all the ancillaries and all this, I'm sure it's refreshing to get away from all that at that level. But at the same time, maybe it's much, much harder and it's a whole new world then to go back and train and still be the consistent guy with your food and your diet and nutrition and shit to be on point and still have that consistency to do all these things without all that other. I think it's kind of more like it's a package deal. It's been that way for so many years at that level that when you let it go, you let it go. A lot of guys do. So this is a reason probably a lot of guys appear to shrink. But the muscle memory's still there, and I can guarantee if any of these guys decided that they wanted to crank back up, they could very easily do it. And I'm not talking about cranking up the gear and the ancillaries. I'm talking about if they just went back in the gym and they found the motivation and the love for it again, and they actually started to lift. Because if you don't have the love for it, why do it at all? Why do it at all? Especially the way we do it as a hobby thing. If you don't love it, why even do it? Do something you love with your time. It's your life. Do something that you love. All right, so that's going to be it right now because the light's flashing, battery's trying to go dead. I got to get my shit together, get something to eat, charge this thing up, and I'll be back.